We are part of the Fired Up Sports Network of shows. Please check out other Fired Up Sports Network podcasts like the P-Lot Pod, Water Cooler Talk, Bell Smashers, Philly Sports Love and Pain, Drunk on Broad, Beer Battered Sports, and the Fired Up Sports Show, which are available on all major podcasting hosting sites and social media. Also, check out Mark Ramos' Roundup on firedupsports.com, which breaks down the happenings going on with all your favorite local teams.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
Eagles! Swing of the miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup. For the lead. Yes!
Iverson, wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
What up?
What up?
What's going on?
Playoffs.
Playoffs.
Con. Fucking playoffs.
Talking about playoffs? Playoffs.
What's going on, Philly? Drunk on Broad.
Huh?
Rich. Don. Joe. We're here breaking down our bold predictions of the Eagles and how they're going to fare in this beautiful playoff matchup against Tampa Bay in the pouring fucking rain. And you know what the best thing is? The news that came out today that I saw that really reassured me that the Eagles are going to be poised for victory. Jalen Hurts hasn't thrown a pass since he got his hand hit, and we're most likely going to throw the ball 50 fucking times against Tampa Bay. So let's go.
Let's go.
No, let's go.
All good. It's all good news, right?
It's all good news. It's exactly what I want to hear.
Like if you had told me when we were doing this way back in August that we'd be sitting here 11-5 getting ready for a playoff game, be like, sign me up.
Yeah.
But the way that this shit played out, losing 5 of their last 6, and this and I gotta laugh at like the Ocho Cinco stuff that came out where he's getting the feeling like they're playing possum, like they're just kind of just laying in the weeds. And I'm like, yeah, great plan. Lose the 1 seed, lose all home games.
Yep.
So you can play a Bucks team that scored 9 points against the worst defense known to me. Like they had to win that game, and they couldn't get but more than 3 field goals from the worst defense in football, from a 2-win Panthers team. But that's the team we're scared of because of what we've seen. Listen, if you had told me after that Buffalo game, when they're 10-1, 1 seed, playing probably their best game, but that's the last time I felt good about this team. Never felt good about that. Even the win, against the Giants was a struggle bus to even get through to watch. Rich, I'm pretty sure you told me that I think that's one of the games you turned off.
Yeah, I turned that game off. There's been 3 games that I turned off this year for the Eagles, and they lost all of them. So, that's what happens. 2 Giants games and the Dallas game I turned off. The second Dallas game because it was just atrocious.
You knew it. You knew it was going to happen.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think they were going to get destroyed. And let's be real. We go up against Tampa Bay. Are they scary? Every team to me is scary.
Right.
Now.
I mean, listen, Rich, listen, we talked about this. Were we super scared of the Seahawks and Drew Lock? No. but we made Drew Lock look like fucking Aaron Rodgers in the fourth quarter running down the field. Like, were you super scared of Kyler Murray? Not really.
No,
but they made him look like the second coming of Patrick Mahomes. Like, were you scared of fucking Danny DeVito's kid? And you,
bro,
what
Bishop Sycamore has a chance against this team.
Yeah. Speaking of other things to watch on TV, if you get a chance to go watch the whole Bishop, I think it's an ESPN. I think it's like a 30 for 30, or it's somewhere out there. There's like a series. There's like a little docu-series on it. Yeah, it is wild. And the dude that is behind that whole Bishop Sycamore thing is fucking wacko, man. It has like literally convinced himself that he did nothing wrong. And he was like falsifying high school transcripts and like trying to, here's the wildest shit that I remember from that story. And this is like way off topic, but he would call this local supermarket and order like 40 rotisserie chickens and then not pick them up and then show up at the store 20 minutes before the store was closed, knowing that they had all of this food that they had already prepared that no one picked up, and buy them for the discounted price because they were going to have to throw them away. Like, those were the lengths that he was going to try to feed these kids.
There weren't kids. They were adults.
Well,
some of them were like 24.
Some of them were. But listen, Joe, talk to me about where you are with this Tampa game, because
no, let's talk about Bishop Sycamore.
It might be definitely be more interesting.
We'll have more hot takes on it.
I
want to talk about Bishop Sycamore.
I have always been the most optimistic Eagles fan that there is, but
definitely on this show.
The Seattle game for me was the game where I think this team really just kind of fell off a cliff. And I don't feel good about us playing any, like, it doesn't matter really who we play right now. We let Arizona come into our building and put up 35 points on us and ran for like 230 yards. We knew they were going to run the ball, and they continued to do it, and we continued to do nothing about it. So I don't even really think it matters who we play. I don't have a good feeling about. I definitely don't have a good feeling about this week. You know, not to say that they can't win the game, but I don't know if this team. It's like the sky is falling. The sky is falling.
No, the sky is falling.
It's a matter of has the sky completely fallen? That we'll find that out on Monday. But the problem with this team is nobody has any answers. And you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same shit over and over and expecting different results. And this team right now is the definition of insanity. You know, you try to draw up a game plan for to scheme against a team offensively and defensively. These guys they just seem like they're completely fucking clueless, lost, or they're in over their head. The defense, some of these guys are too old. Bradbury's cooked. I don't care how you slice it. The guy's just done. You know, you get Slay back, which is gonna help, but where's the pass rush? Where's the pass rush? Where do these guys go? Oh, let's drop Hassan Reddick back into coverage. That's a great idea. Let's just,
on the first play.
What about in space? Just stand out
on the first play.
On the first play.
Like, it's Joe. It's beyond trying to put like meaningful thought to it, because it's so frustrating. Like, you want to sit here and say, like, yeah, they're going to play a really, really mediocre Bucs team. But it's just, it really, is it really what you want to see out of this team? No, like, you saw nothing going down the stretch. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. and there's no reason to feel good about this team at all.
How can you feel good?
Right.
That's the question. How can you, watching what you've watched the past 6 weeks?
Yeah, we're in the worst situation out of any team that's in the playoffs right now. We're ready to break. We're ready to snap in half.
Yeah.
You know, this game Monday could have like crazy amount of ripple effects with coaching. The
Good.
Coach, who's not going to leave? Who's not going to be? Who's going to be? Who's not going to be here? And the players who's going to be here after the season. It's going to be a wake up call for everybody. You know, there's reports coming today that nobody's job is safe.
They shouldn't.
Jalen Hurts. Even Jalen Hurts' name has been mentioned in that, which he's absolutely has a lot to blame. Take a lot of blame for the season, but it's something that it's really unprecedented and surreal where we are now compared to where we were early in the season and where this could go.
Joe, what's the name of the team that they're playing this week?
It doesn't matter what your name is.
It doesn't. It's just it. You can sit here and say whatever, and we could break this down as much as we can, right? But like Baker Mayfield has played well going down the stretch. They've won 4 of their last 5. You're going to have to figure out a way to guard Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
And Cade Otton.
And Cade Otton with a questionable secondary.
Yep.
With a secondary that hasn't covered anybody. And you're going to have to, like Rashad White is good. They're
He's
probably
a fucking monster.
But Rich, he could look like Christian McCaffrey for all we know, based on the way that this team is playing now. It doesn't look good at all. And
to be completely honest with you, they are better right now, better than the Eagles on both sides of the ball, and at every skill position. It might be a hot take, but break down the performances of everyone on the Eagles in the past 6 weeks and compare them to the numbers on Tampa Bay. And I guarantee all the numbers on Tampa Bay for every single player is better than maybe Lane Johnson. And that's it.
They're calling for rain Monday? Are they calling for rain Monday?
Heavy rain.
Oh,
heavy rain.
like
heavy rain.
Like Joe, rain that we saw here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
On Tuesday night, like that, and the whole game. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, it could be the best thing that might happen to this team because they're going to be forced to use a strength, which is just run the ball.
Yeah.
Don, what are you smoking?
Come on. We know that if they hand the ball, like we saw those games early on.
No, Don, what are you smoking thinking they're going to run the ball? They're throwing the ball in the wind, baby.
I think we're going to get a break. We're going to get breakthrough play calling this week, and the bubble screens to the receivers it's going to work. It's going to work.
It's going to work. It's going to work this week.
Finally going to work,
bro.
We're totally going to catch.
They all need to be fired.
Second and long, third, maybe quarterback draw.
So listen, I was listening to Ruben Frank, right? And to hear some of the stuff, and I didn't realize this until when they started talking about it. But do you realize this is the 4th road Monday night road game that they've played this year?
Oh,
like they've played 4 road Monday night games. Now the one Seattle game got flexed to the Monday night, but they played at Kansas City.
Yep.
They played at Seattle. They played at Tampa early, and now they're going to play. And this is also the only time that they've ever played the same team on Monday night in the same season. But I don't know. I just the thing that I keep trying to, and this is me trying to convince myself that something might change. But I feel like, Joe, as you were talking a little bit ago, I feel like we could go back through every episode and say, oh, well, they didn't play a complete game in X. Like all those wins that they were playing, it was like, oh yeah, they won, but like this looked bad. Or they won. Yeah. They have not played a complete game.
They haven't won convincingly.
Offense,
since Miami.
Since Miami, early on in the season. They don't have, I think, this was the stat I was talking about. They, up through week 10, they led the league in 40-plus yard plays. Since week 10, they're last in the league. Like it's wild to see how the drop off, but I just don't see a way that they're not playing. They're not playing for his job. I think that, and if they're not playing for his job, he's certainly playing to have any kind of stature and any kind of clout with the team. Because at this point, you can kind of tell if you're having a players-only meeting in week 18 because you got to convince the guys on this team and some of these vet guys, you got to convince them to play for this guy. That says a lot. It says a lot about the culture that in week 18, you got a guy who's only been here in his second year, and he's trying to convince everybody, like, let's rally around these coaches. Let's trust in what they do. I got to believe there's a lot of eye rolling in that locker room. That's like,
yeah, no shit. Because you're dropping Josh fucking Sweat and Hassan Reddick in the fucking coverage.
Right.
After I saw that, I'm like, I'm done.
The division in this team really started when even though, I mean, they were winning games and he still had his faults. But I think that when he decided to do that knee-jerk reaction and decided to Patricia, I think they lost a lot of the players.
Yeah, because they're like, well, I think this guy don't know what he's doing.
Really saw a change because we had that game. We should have won that game. And then it all went to shit, really, after that.
And the fact that it got worse. Yeah. One, it screams desperation, right?
Yeah.
It screams and desperation at a time where if you look back at some of Sean Desai's games early on in the season, right, he had some impressive performances. The defensive performance, the way that they were able to hold that Dolphins team that was, coming off a couple weeks before they played them, putting up 70 against the Broncos, right? And you hold them to a really, really good showing, and then you shut out the Chiefs at home in the second half. Like did San Francisco and the Cowboys game look ugly? It looked ugly. But you never gave him a chance to actually figure shit out. And then you pull the rug out from under him, you bring Patricia in, and it's looked worse. It hasn't even stayed status quo. It's gotten worse. And now there's no going back. Because now you can't be like, oh, well, we're going to go back to Sean Desai. Because if I'm Sean Desai, I'm going, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't care. Like, you want to go, you want to come back to me?
Nope.
Have fun with your boy.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Nope.
Right? And I think that's where you might see, and that's where I'm hoping you see some changeovers. And, like, I know I don't love the idea of switching both coordinators again, but I think you have to. I think what you've seen from both of these guys,
right? And
it boggles my mind that you see now Brian Johnson is going to have head coaching interviews with two different franchises. I
don't get it.
Okay. Listen, I got some family checking in. My Aunt Nancy is checking in, and my friend Tom, who lives in he's in Kentucky. So
nice. Shout to Tom.
So, what
You know what the
I
sad
don't know.
part is? You know what the sad part is? We've been so down, like us as a group, as a unit, Eagles fans, been down. And it sucks because, like, there's no joy left to talk about the team. And it's, you know how fucking crazy it is? We're sounding like we're like spoiled little fucking babies because we're 11-5 and made the playoffs. But we know how bad it is because it's hasn't been convincing all year. You've seen the hole on offense and defense, the step back Jalen has had, the fact that this offensive line's not even playing well. And then your defensive line that you're like, hey, fuck Vernon Hargraves. Like, we don't need him. Well, we sure fucking do need him. The disappearing act of Jalen Carter, the disappearing act of Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, the second coming of freaking Jeremiah Trotter. He can't even stay on the field. Our two high-paid corners, elite 1 and 2, you're not going to be able to throw against them, are cooked.
Yeah.
Are cooked. It's just I'm looking at it from an outside looking in. Like, if I'm Tampa Bay, I'm feeling good about this game. I'm feeling good.
You have
especially playing at home.
You're
And
at
yet-
home
Yeah.
with a defensive-minded coach. They're chomping at the bit.
Talk about it.
What is Brian's? What are they going to do offensively differently that they've done throughout the year?
They're not going to counter Todd Bowles' defense.
What? Yeah. All of a sudden, they're going to flip a switch, and the shit's going to be right. You have a quarterback who got hurt in the Giants game. He hasn't picked up or thrown a ball since Sunday. We still don't even know what capacity he's at. You know,
Which, if we won 2 fucking games, we wouldn't even have to play them. So guess what, Eagles?
Exactly.
You did it to your fucking self.
We still don't know about A.J. Brown. What's his status? And we still don't know about Devontae Smith and his status. So, you know, you roll that all together with a night game in poor conditions with a defense that's just waiting. They're ready to come for you. Great. It's a recipe for fucking disaster.
Yeah. You got a pissed off Rashad White not making the Pro Bowl because Swift made it over him. That's not going to be he's not going to be happy about that. You got Mike Evans, who's elite year in, year out. Chris Godwin, who's going to eat up the middle of the field because there's no linebackers. You're not going to be able to stop them. And it's not even a high-powered offense. It's just they execute well, and they have good weapons. Like, it's crazy. And then Todd Bowles is just going to be like, hey, Brian Johnson, I watched your film, and I got to watch it all week. And you know what I saw? You don't fucking change your tendencies. You tip your hand. This is my defense. Good luck.
Well, and if you thought the blitzing that you saw against the Giants was bad,
wait till Levante David's coming down your fucking throat.
Right. Wait till you see the guys on the Bucks and the position that he puts them in. I mean, the clip that went viral from the first playoff game that Jalen Hurts played in a couple years ago, right? Those clips of going, they can't stop. Like, we got it. We got them. We know that they're not going to make and there's no adjustments. There's no adjustments to the blitz. There's no adjustments in the play calling. They literally look like they're just going like it's just schoolyard stuff, and they're going to let them blitz. And then Jalen runs around for his life towards the sideline and either slides or throws the ball away. Like, there's no plan. There's nobody in the flat. There's no dump off. There's no, like, hey, emergency, blitz, like, dump it in the flat. Like, there's just nobody. There's nowhere to go. So there's no levels to the routes. It's just – and – I think the thing that's frustrating, right, is I think we've spent most of the season trying to convince ourselves that we were seeing something that was there that never was. This season feels like it's like the ultimate Houdini act of like, oh, you thought we were good at a 10 and at the beginning of the season we're 10-1. Look at us.
It was an optical illusion.
We got a couple things to fix, right? You saw Optical illusion, Rich. You saw the pretty girl.
Mm-hmm. You got close. It's the old woman.
You got close, and it was the old lady. Like, it's. I mean, Rich, you're talking about seeing Levante David and Shaq Barrett. You're gonna see Antoine Winfield come off the corner. You're gonna see Vita Vea wreck. You're gonna see Vita Vea in the middle.
Yep.
You're gonna see Kalijah Clancy come off the corner. Like, you're gonna see them put these guys in space, and you're gonna see Todd Bowles mix it up. Don't be surprised if they're throwing
Devin White. Don't forget Devin White.
Oh shit! Yeah, right. Like,
guys,
they're gonna stack. They're gonna stack multiple guys on the same. Like, they're gonna stack guys on the same side. They're gonna stack blitzes. They're gonna bring guys off the corner. They're gonna be. It's gonna be a Todd Bowles defense. You're gonna see a super creative way to attack this offense. And I mean, Todd Bowles didn't even need to watch the last 5 weeks of like how teams attack this defense to know how to attack this defense.
Yeah.
It's
super predictable.
It really is. It really is. So, like,
mundane, it's worn down, it's forced upon you. Like, this team's offense, oh yeah, we're good. It's like it's being forced. Like, you're trying to spoon feed me some bullshit. Mm-hmm. And we're all just like, yeah, because we fucking know. We've been watching the same shit. Like, we know it's not good. And like, Tom, like you said, holding a players only meeting, bro. You're even if you do win a game, by the grace of God, I'm still firing my coordinators. I'm still looking at Nick Sirianni like, this is your fucking team, bro. And yeah, you won a playoff game, but you fucking looked like shit all season. And I'm really like, what pisses me off is we had to win 2 games. Mm-hmm. And we couldn't fucking do that. Like, to at least win the division, like, we couldn't do that. And it put our players' health in the line of fire with Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith. That's just a fucking terrible play call. And we saw it, Joe. We saw it. Me and Don talked about it last week. You saw it with Tank Dell. You don't throw your 165-pound fucking wide receiver out there to block the fucking screen. Bad things happen. You did that. Jalen Hurts gets his hand hit. A.J. Brown gets hurt. What the fuck? Like,
no, and Sidney Brown
shot them. Yeah, Sidney Brown fucking tore ACL. He's done.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you shot yourself in the foot, Eagles. You got to look yourselves in the mirror and say, hey, I did this to myself. This is self-inflicted, literally self-inflicted bullet wounds. The Eagles did this themselves. Yep. You cannot be Howie and look at this coaching staff and say, I'm comfortable from what I saw. No, because Howie's already on the call. Like, I want Antonio fucking Pierce so fucking bad.
Yeah.
The way he turned around that Raiders defense. And that defense was fucking trash. And then he came in and saw a guy who could motivate individuals and get them to play hard. We can talk about
it's important. Listen, on the other side, we can talk about I want to talk about some of the other playoff matchups, but we can talk about some of the coaches that came available and where we think those guys might lie. But so we always do it. We need a score and a plan.
Okay, I'll start.
Or not a score and a plan, like a score and how you think it's going to play out.
We have a plan, but they don't have a fucking plan.
Yeah.
No. So do me this. Give me a score and give me how do you think it's going to play out?
I'm going to say it's going to be 28-17 Buccaneers. You're going to have Rachaad White break the record for rushing yards in a wild card matchup. And yeah, it's just going to be one of those ugly games. Turnovers are going to shoot the Eagles in the foot, and the defense isn't going to be able to stop anybody. That's just what I see, especially if it's raining. Yeah, it gives the edge to the Eagles because of our offensive line and our run game. I haven't seen that in a while, so I would like to see it. But I'm going 28-17, Rashad White, huge game, and Mike Evans goes over on
Rich,
in
the record for rushing yards in a playoff game. You got an idea? Anybody?
217.
It's actually north of 217. All right, I'm going to give you the year. The record is 248.
Wow, who did that?
248, 1985 NFC divisional game against the Cowboys. This player was playing for the Rams. Who'd you say, Joe?
Eric Dickerson?
Yeah, Dickerson.
Oh.
Dickerson in 1985 in a divisional playoff game, rushed for 248 yards.
Wow. Rashad White goes for 249.
Yeah.
Listen, Rich, at that point, you might as well just go 250 and just call it even.
Yeah. 240.
Joe, what do you got?
I got 24-17 Tampa. Yeah, I mean, it's just ground and pound. I think they're just gonna do. We're not gonna do anything to get in their way. It's just gonna be a slow. Well, hopefully it'll be a quick death, but I think it's just gonna be a slow, painful death. They're gonna run. I mean, it's just it's gonna be a run heavy. Jalen's gonna be running for his life. It's just gonna be the same shit because I mean they tried out the same shit every week, and the same thing happens.
Yep.
Nothing looks different. There's no you guys said earlier. There hasn't been any bright spots in this offensively or defensively since I can't even remember.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
That's how hard.
It's like
I know.
It's like Dr. and Mr. Hyde. It's complete opposite team from earlier in the season. I think these guys are gassed. I think some of these guys are cooked and shouldn't be on the team anymore. I'm sure there's division in the locker room, like with the coordinators, with the head coach. Like there's so much shit to try to dissect and unpack.
And it is shit.
And it's well, I'll tell you what. The funeral's on Monday. Unfortunately, as diehard fans as we are, we're going to the viewing, but hopefully it's a quick death.
We're gonna be. I mean, listen, we got taps on deck, so it's there. The only way that this plays out in a win is if, for some miracle, there's some kind of weird epiphany that we see something that we haven't seen all year. And I think I'm past this. I'm past trying to convince myself of trying to I'm Joe. I'm right there with you. I'm normally sitting there drinking the green Ecto Cooler, trying to convince myself that they got to bring Ecto Cooler back.
Yeah, they did.
That hit different. But this is I haven't seen anything, and I haven't heard anything this week that would convince me that I should expect anything other than a loss. So
I've heard nothing.
This team legit nothing. It's almost as though they've acknowledged. It's almost as if they've acknowledged what this season has become.
Yeah,
and that to me is sad. It's sad that you had 11 wins. You're the 5 seed. They're the only 11 win team to not get to 12 ever. Every team that's ever gotten to 11 has gotten to 12, and they didn't get. They're the first team in NFL history to do that. So this is the
first team in the NFL history to have 11 wins.
To get to 11, but never get to 12.
So we're the first team in the NFL to ever have 11 wins.
I got to go back and check that. Don't quote me on that. I heard it somewhere. It was a while ago, and it sounded really good before you questioned it.
It's hard for us to think clearly as much.
I was like, wait, if the first team who never got to 12 from 11, that means they're the first team to ever have 11 wins. I'm not buying it.
Listen, I gotta go. I gotta go back and try. I'll try, while we're playing the commercial, I'll go back and try to find it.
You got me at a good time. But THC's drink is kicking in, so it's got me questioning everything.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think this is just giving me vibes of that Game 7 Sixers Celtics where I just turned it off.
Nancy with the bold prediction.
Yeah,
look at that.
And listen, my cousin Nancy on the she gets into game mode super fast on Facebook. So she's firing them off, and it's always emotional. And listen, I take that caveat and say, listen, we all think they're going to lose. I hope we're wrong. I hope I'm on next week talking about them matching up with and Matt, that there's a matchup with the Cowboys or the 49ers or so, whatever. I hope we're here talking about it just because I love talking about this team.
Sad.
But I'm sitting here, I'm saying I hope we're wrong. But I also got to sit here and be honest with myself. And I don't want to sit here and lie and say, like, yeah, I feel really good about this team. And there's a lot. They're not playing well. There's not a lot to look forward to. They haven't shown you any signs of life this week at all. Like you don't hear a lot of camaraderie coming out of the locker room. And listen, maybe that's them batting down the hatches. Maybe it's all being handled internally. I don't know. But what I do know is what I've seen over the course of the last 6-7 weeks, which has been terrible on both sides of the ball. So on that note, on the back end of the commercial, we'll talk about all the other playoff matchups, and then we'll talk about some coaching carousels. So we'll be back in a minute.
Vonsey Brewing Company is a 20-barrel, 16,000 square foot microbrewery with a 2,500 square foot tasting room, including a spacious outside beer gardens in Norristown, PA, in the heart of Montgomery County. The Vonsey family is part of the family that started C. Schmidt and Son Brewing in 1860. Stop in Wednesday through Sunday and taste a variety of draft and 16-ounce cans of originally brewed beer and tell them the Drunk on Broad crew sent you. Vonsey Brewing is located at 1210 Stenbridge Street, Suite 300 in Norristown. Cheers.
Team Clicks are the only glasses for real sports fans. With interchangeable arms, you can support all of your favorite teams, or even make and create custom options as well. These die-hard sports fans have realized that sports fans needed something other than face paint to show their love and passion for their teams. Go to teamclicks.com/DOB and show your love for your hometown team.
La Torrens curated collection of men's and women's watches is a perfect investment that lasts for years to come and fits perfectly with your every outfit and style. Our range of classic watches aren't just a great perfect formal and casual accessory, but a time machine that takes you back to memories. Explore our collection of timeless watches that can reflect your taste, personality, and personal style. Our exclusive collection of carefully curated, affordable luxury watches is what you need to make a personalized style statement. You can take pride in your prized possession, handing it over to the next generations as your most loved asset that they can also own and display with the same pride. These high-quality pieces stand the test of time, giving exceptional value and return on your investment. Go to la-touraine.com and use code DOB at checkout and get 10% off.
If you're looking for unique sports apparel, check out Streaker Sports. They've dug deep into the archives and have brought back some incredible defunct team logos and have even created entire defunct league collections. They also have collections paying homage to sports culture, including the Miracle on Ice, Slap Shot, Caddyshack, the Mighty Ducks, and even have a license with Wiffle Ball and USA Hockey. Only for Drunk on Broad listeners, use code BROAD at checkout to get 10% off anything at streakersports.com. Again, that's 10% off anything at streakersports.com with discount code BROAD.
All right, we're back. And listen, Rich, I got the
What?
stat. You ready?
What's the
I
stat?
found it. So they're the first team in NFL history to start 10-1
Yes.
and not get to 12 wins.
Okay. Done. Makes sense. Because, I mean,
So
first team in NFL to ever get to 11, not get to 12. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Math, baby. Math, baby.
listen, we ain't a math pod, but the math ain't mathin' right there, right?
Math ain't mathing, babe.
The math
No.
ain't mathin'. So listen, we got the playoffs matchup set up, right? So we talked Eagles Bucks. All right, the matchup the game that I really want to watch on the NFC side is the Rams Lions game. That game to me is a game indoors. Both teams got a lot of weapons on both sides. I'm excited to see Detroit and where that defense can go. But Rich, you were talking last week about how dangerous that Rams team could be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Detroit. I mean, Detroit's played great, but they've also played terribly. And the Rams have just been so consistently good these past 7 weeks. It's just tough when you get teams like that who roll. It honestly reminds me of that 9-7 Giants team.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Yeah.
They just scrapped in and they started playing well. They got hot at the right time, and then boom. Like the Rams have all that potential. You know, I like the Rams. It's weird for me to say, but I do believe Green Bay has a chance. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Pittsburgh plays tough, man. Again, good coaching. Good coaching gets it to you. You just look around and I just see a lot of good coaches, except Mike McCarthy. He's a fucking boop.
Yeah. Listen, like if we talk one game at a time, like I love the idea of I trust Matthew Stafford with the weapons that he has going into a place that he's super familiar with, that he's got a lot of history there. Not that he left there on any kind of bitter like revenge tour, but I gotta believe I gotta give the advantage to the Rams. I think and the thing that you got to consider, especially this time, anytime the playoffs are starting, they're coming in hot and they're playing really well. And they essentially got a bye last week. They had their spot already locked up. They rested almost all their starters, so they're going to be coming in fresh. And Ginger Jesus got to win. Jesus Christmas. Say a prayer for us all.
It's got the same amount of wins as Jalen Hurts has in the past 6 weeks.
Oh God. Oh God, that's fucking painful.
That math adds up.
I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, it's sickening.
That math is bonkers. Oh God. Well, listen. Let's talk about the other NFC matchup. You got the which Rich, I think the 7-2 matchup with the Packers and Cowboys. In Dallas, the Cowboys haven't lost a home game there in a really long time. But I do think it will be a lot closer of a game than I think a lot of people think. I think people are just going to go in there and expect Dallas to roll, but Jordan Love's playing well. And it wouldn't surprise me if they go in there and make that a game, make it super competitive.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. I don't think Green Bay gets the doors blown off them. And Dak and Dallas can have a Dak-Dallas game at any time. So, and the Green Bay's defense is no slouch. So, I mean, Jordan Love plays well it's crazy with the weapons of wide receiver that he has, and the running backs that he hasn't had. with Aaron Jones being out for pretty much all year. I mean, they get rolling early and they start scoring. I don't see why they can't pull this off. And Dallas could easily just outshoot them. It's just, what do you expect from Dak being so inconsistent?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But look, so on the AFC side, right? The wild card weekend is going to kick off with Cleveland and Houston, which that is one on that side that I'm really, really excited to watch.
I can't wait to watch
love that game with CJ
D'Amico.
Stroud is going to be electric.
CJ Stroud versus Joe Flacco. Who would have fucking thought? Didn't have that on my bingo card.
No, I bet you Oscar did, though.
Oscar definitely had it. He slobs Flacco.
Did Oscar get himself a Joe Flacco Browns jersey?
He probably did. He's a fucking weirdo.
No, but that matchup is good. And listen, the Browns defense is playing really well, right? Myles Garrett is getting to the quarterback.
Monster.
And they are like you were talking about Tank Dell being out, right? You are talking about a team that's down. They're down guys. That's the one that I'm most curious to see. But I think that Cleveland playing at home or Cleveland going on the road maybe gives Houston a little bit of an advantage. But I know Houston is a team that's notorious for not showing up in the playoffs either. They just so it wouldn't surprise me if Joe Flacco goes in there and in that 4-5 matchup and they're able to just kind of control the ball, run the ball, take care of business. It's just you are also going to see Joe Flacco turn the ball over too. So it's all about, I think that D'Amico Ryans defense
right
is something to watch. Joe, talk to me about what is being talked about in terms of the Weather Bowl in what I'm going to dub the stupidest decision in NFL history to put this game exclusively on the fucking Peacock app, where you have to, in order to watch, I don't know how many people know this, but in order to watch that game, which is and should be a nationally televised game that should be available to everybody, is going to be broadcast exclusively on an app that you have to pay for in order to be able to watch it.
An absolute joke.
But it's going to talk about the weather there, right? 0 degrees. It's supposed the wind chill's supposed to be between -20 and -30.
Yeah. Good luck with that, Miami. It's a joke. Every stadium should have the ability to be open and shut. I mean, whenever going forward, it should just be mandatory for a stadium to be able to have, a retractable roof, or where you could, that the weather doesn't affect the game like that. Looking at that matchup, if the weather was a little bit more formidable, I could see that I could see Miami winning the game outright.
Yeah.
But because of the elements and that the situation that they're going to be in, they're not built for that kind of environment.
Run a little slower in the cold too. Slower in the cold. He's got something to prove. He wants to go in there and show up and show off for letting them walk. But it's gonna be tough sledding. Literally. It is. Yeah.
And listen, and then the weekend, in terms of Sunday night, or it's not Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, you're going to see Pittsburgh go to Buffalo. And Buffalo is playing really well. They had a good, right? They play really well in with the essentially the 2 seed on the line and the ability to be able to host the game versus having to travel. I think Buffalo is a team to watch. They're playing, like you talk about the hot teams, Rich. They're playing really well.
Yep.
And they got a guy behind center that can really just sling it.
Mason Rudolph, baby. Right? Mason Rudolph?
Are you calling it?
You're saying you got
calling
a
it?
guy under center who can sling it. Only quarterback in that game I see is Mason Rudolph. Only thing he'd be swinging helmets, or no, he getting swung on by helmets. But man, he's dropping bombs to Kenny Pickett too, baby. No, I'm just kidding. Josh Allen's a stud. Sometimes, but again, Josh Allen can have a Josh Allen game, and I think it comes.
Yeah.
This is one of those games that comes down to coaching. Advantage Mike Tomlin. Advantage. Yeah, no, advantage Buffalo and everything else, but Pittsburgh has Mike Tomlin, and I don't rule those guys out. But Josh Allen at home should be slinging the rock around. Hopefully, he gets Diggs involved more. Maybe you see some late heroics that Gabe Davis from the playoffs the year before, 4 tutties. It's going to be that's going to be a game that I'm excited to watch. That the Browns game and pretty much the Rams in Detroit. Ollie's going to want to watch his Miami Dolphins, that scumbag, versus Kansas City. So we'll probably watch that on the Peacock app, and I'll just laugh every time Kansas City scores. Teach him early. Yo, he don't want to be an Eagles fan. He's going to get it. He gets it from everybody in my family, dude. Weird. We do not hold back.
Oh, good gosh. That's great.
You teach a 5-year-old that he's a scum and he's a scuzz for liking Miami.
Oh, God.
That's what we do around here.
The Steelers are going to take a hit in that game because TJ Watt's out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TJ Watt's not playing, so I think that's being on the road in that environment. I mean, the Steelers, they usually always show up, but I think it's just going to be too much for them this week.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, you want to talk about any coaches, any of the coaching stuff?
Well, you want to hear? Can I read you something real quick? Then.
Yeah, go ahead.
Adam, rap sheet just said, sources: Jared Mayo is a strong candidate to replace Bill Belichick, and if he is the choice, the Patriots could simply hire him. No need to go through the lengthy hiring process. They established a firm contractual succession plan in a prior contract and communicated it to the NFL. Simply, the Patriots created a succession plan, Jared Mayo. There is precedent. The Ravens did it with GM Eric DeCosta. The Colts did it with Jim Caldwell, and the Seahawks did it with Jim Mora.
Okay. Listen, I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. Guess what? Fresh
guy.
mind, not a retread coach. I fucking love it.
Yeah, and listen, you saw a little bit of that in just the last couple of days, right? The news comes out this morning that Belichick is going to step away, right, for the New England job, but Pete Carroll steps away, and there's going to be an opening in Seattle. They're already talking about Dan Quinn going back from the Cowboys, not running the Cowboys defense, going back to Seattle, where he kind of got his. He kind of made his bed with the that.
What if the Falcons hired him again?
Wow,
that'd be so funny.
Yeah, and listen, the other old guys that go out, right? Ron Rivera is out in Washington, which is no surprise. Arthur Smith is out in Atlanta.
He's a fucking moron.
He's terrible.
Right,
What a boob.
Brandon Staley's out. Frank Wright's out.
He's a freaking boob.
Yeah,
He's a boob too. That guy should have been fired years ago.
Yeah. He's like he's like the boob you don't want to look at. But the weird nipple. He's that boob.
He's like a third nipple guy.
Third nipple boob.
That's
He's terrible.
The one that surprises me though is the Vrabel.
Vrabel.
I know that they had a down couple of years, the last couple of years, but it does surprise me that they moved on from him.
Yo, their GM sucked. Their GM made all those terrible moves. Like, what do you expect him to coach with? I got fucking Ryan Tannehill. We had to draft a quarterback because Malik Willis fucking sucks. I didn't want that pick. I made it clear I didn't want him. But my defense is solid. I'm sorry, our offensive line, because Taylor Lewan stepped away because the team was so fucking bad.
Right.
And I'm stuck with Ryan Tannehill. And the kid we drafted is not that good either. But he only has DeAndre Hopkins and Derrick Henry around him. Well, Tajay Spears toward the end. No wide receivers. Don't use a tight end.
And now they're going to
it's not very
lose
great.
Henry. I think Henry leaves. I think Henry's leaving. So
It wouldn't surprise me.
Oh yeah, he's
who
gone.
knows?
You'll see him in Baltimore, bro.
Do you think that's if and when they move on the defensive side? Is he a guy that you think gets another head coaching job, or do you think he goes and is he a coordinator somewhere?
I think
Vrabel?
he's going to be a coach.
Yeah, I think he could do whatever. He'll have a lot of options either way.
Yeah.
Head coach or D. But I think he could slide right in and be a head coach somewhere else right away.
I think the Raiders should keep Antonio Pierce.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't, I'm pissed because the Giants want him. I would take him in a heartbeat. I would fire right now.
You've already got 8 openings as of right now.
Dallas, if Dallas doesn't win, Mike McCarthy's out. Eagles, I would say Sirianni's probably out. And if Andy Reid wins another one, he's probably retiring.
And then it's going to become a bidding war with Belichick because there's so many teams that's going to want his services, but you're going to have an organization be willing to hand over really all
the keys
power.
to the kingdom. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jerry Jones says that, we would take Belichick. Get the fuck out of here.
Look at Bill Parcells. Bill's like, look, this is the way it's got to be for us to win. And Jerry was like, he couldn't keep his hand out of the cookie jar. Bill was like, fuck this. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the team to watch with Belichick is a Chargers.
Yeah, I think they're number one.
Oh my God, Herbert?
He loves Justin Herbert. He loves Justin Herbert.
I think that, and you combine him and Austin Eckler and the weapons that they have outside.
One of the best.
Eckler's probably gone. Eckler's a free agent.
That's also true. Yeah,
but
you're probably not wrong on that.
Go by committee like he would do in New England anyway. So
they just need to get that. They need to get that defense right. But if there's ever a guy that's going to come in and set the tone and hold players accountable and get in, turn average talent into Pro Bowl caliber players, it's Bill Belichick.
Yeah, listen. Go ahead.
Look at the teams where they won with in New England. Look at the team that beat us in Super Bowl 39. It was a bunch of guys. Troy Brown's playing wide receiver and corner. Deion Branch and the David Pattons of the world. Those guys were, average household name guys, but he made them. He made them better. He played to their strengths. He was capable of doing that, and he was always capable of doing that, and he always will be able to do that.
Yeah, I think the wildest part is that the fact that Brian Johnson's being considered for both the Panthers and the Titans job.
Good.
Yeah, which quite honestly could be the best thing that could happen, right? Because it's
We're
not
Sean Desai's job. Take him back to Seattle.
But it's
Matt
not.
Patricia,
It's not
to New England.
Yeah, it's not a position where you're saying you're moving on from him. He's moving on from you, right? And then you can step in and fill that position. And I think the idea of his relationship with Jalen Hurts kind of came back to bite him. I think the relationship may be that that it's too close, and it doesn't leave the space for the criticism that really needs to be there in order for him to be able to elevate his game.
Yeah.
So I think bringing in a guy that doesn't have a personal relationship with the player as the offensive coordinator, it may not have affected the on-field play as much when he's the quarterback's coach, but when he's the offensive coordinator calling the plays, I got to believe that, you bring in a guy that can maximize the talent group that's on this roster is really the best scenario for you, because what you have going on right now ain't working.
How about this crazy scenario?
Talk to me.
They clean house the entire coaching staff, and you got Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniel, and either Patricia or Mike Vrabel as deep.
To be honest, Joe, I would rather take my chances and let Sirianni pick 2 new guys rather than start from scratch.
Yeah.
Because I think you start from scratch, and I think that you might lose the tail end of this locker room.
I want
They're going to
Deuce.
see that. Oh, yeah, I'd be interested in that.
I would love to see Deuce as the head coach.
I would
love to see it do it with the Eagles. That'd be awesome.
I wouldn't mind seeing him come back and be the OC. That wouldn't be a guy that I would hate. I think that's a guy that's like a no nonsense, no bullshit kind of guy that could be a guy that could get in Jalen's face, that could get in guys' face, and has the NFL cred to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I like it.
Not a guy who
Who
played.
you guys want DC? Who are your top candidates for DC?
Wink.
Yeah, I mean,
Wink
Martindale's a guy that's out there that you can see is able to be creative with not a whole lot of talent.
And he said, fuck your money, and gave his money back and left. He's like, fuck you and your money. I'm out. Yeah. He left without taking the money. That was the best part.
Yeah.
That's how much he hated that fat fuck in front of the Giants. Dabble.
Yeah.
Fucking terrible.
And he's a guy, that you talk about swing and miss. Like that guy.
Fucking terrible.
You thought, you thought he was the next thing since sliced bread, and he was nothing without Josh Allen. Nothing.
Yeah.
So
it's easy to be great when you got Stephon Diggs and fucking Josh Allen. When you go down, you got Wan'Dale Robinson and Tyrod Taylor. Well, it's hard to be good.
Joe, would you be interested in a guy like a former Eagle in Mike Caldwell, who was just running the Jags defense? Would you be interested in a guy like that?
Absolutely.
Jack Del Rio?
No.
Jack Del Rio's a guy I'm out on, but
no, dude. His fucking guts. He's a clown.
Yeah.
I never liked him. I would do Rivera. I would do Ron Rivera as DC.
I would. That's another guy.
I would do Ron. Absolutely.
Because I
what
think
about Frank? What about Frank as OC?
Who?
Frank Reich.
Oh, I can do with it or without it.
Do you think he's still a better option than Brian Johnson? I think
there's
a lot of people.
1,000%. Yeah. I mean, Joe, we're better options than Brian Johnson.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe when we're done the show, we should all send an email to PhiladelphiaEagles.com and give them our own personal offensive plays for Monday.
That's a good idea. I'm going to draw them out in crayon.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. That's awesome. Well, gentlemen, let's roll into final thoughts. What do we got going on this week?
Ooh, final thoughts. Reacher, new episode came out tonight. Going to have to watch it tomorrow. I'm just excited. It's good, right?
I finished season 1.
Hell yeah, dude. It's a fun fucking show.
Yeah. That dude, the guy that plays that character is fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, dude. He's funny as shit. He's just so dry, and he's just like, I'm going to do this. Well, not if I kill every one of them. It just like keeps going. It's like, oh, all right. And everybody's like, well, okay. Killed like 19 people in this town, no charges. Like, what the fuck's going on? Great. It's so unrealistic. That's why it's so good.
It's really good.
I'm just excited, football, and it's weird that we're like, I feel like we're getting into the winter months and not having like flag football for Ollie on Sunday. They had their final game last Sunday. He had a nice 3-yard run. If he just would have got the handoff clean, it would have been better. But little, they weren't in sync. Kind of looked like the Eagles defense. And they lost. So consecutively lost every single game this season. It was beautiful. He loved it. He wants to play again. And I said, dude, I can't wait to watch you play. But it's weird. Like, we have nothing to do, like getting up for or whatever. So it'll be fun to watch, the games with them on Sunday and then the Miami game with them on Saturday. So I'm just looking forward to that. And yeah, my final thoughts are just enjoy your family. It's good times, Kids grow up because Don's kids are like fucking 30.
Oh God. Well, listen, Joe, you know that I got one that just turned 16,
Happy birthday,
and I got the one in a month that's about to turn 13. Shout out to my daughter Jane. Happy birthday. She's probably in the next room, ear hustling.
Happy
No, she's there. There she
Happy
is.
birthday, Jane!
Happy birthday. But you know, I will tell you, it's cool to see the next stages. It's cool to see the things that you share when you start to be able to share with them the things that you're interested on a different level. Not like, hey, come watch this, but like actually talk to them about it and kind of pick their brain. But then they're picking your brain, and you're having Kip started jujitsu, and that's a whole cool thing that we're kind of learning with it. We have a family friend who kind of got him into that. So now he and I are kind of, talking about it and learning about that together. So it's like, it's cool to just see these next stages of life that like you're connecting with them, but you're connecting on a different level. And it's just, it's an interesting spot to be in, but it's really cool. And it's cool that we're, at a stage where, you're starting to see different paths where they're getting interested in stuff. So, Jane's got a role in a musical in the spring in Guys and Dolls, so we'll be doing that in the spring, and I'm sure Kip's going to be kicking somebody's ass in jiu-jitsu sooner or later. So we'll have to go.
Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah, sooner rather than later, right?
Sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So just that what it actually wasn't what I was going to talk about with final thoughts, but it's cool. The thing I wanted to talk about before we got onto that was. I don't know if have you guys heard of the City Pigeons pod? So I've seen them a little bit on Twitter. They're doing something really fun tonight. They're down at some place in the city. They're doing a bootleg t-shirt expo. So like it's
nice.
It's a collection of all the bootleg shirts. And like some of them going back 20, 30 years from the vet, which is like just a cool thing. I'm curious to see if they're going to post the pictures of some of like the t-shirts. But some of the stuff that people are posting, it's like, you remember the little Calvin and Hobbes where they got them peeing on the Cowboy star. And like, it's a cool nostalgic thing that they just kind of threw together. But they always put on a good show, and I'm curious to see what kind of stuff they were able to collect and put on display, because it's pretty neat.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's right up my alley.
Joe, you got something for final thoughts?
Yeah, I guess really to piggyback off you guys, just you enjoy each other, enjoy your time, enjoy your friends and family, because you really never know how much time you have left with them. With what's going on in my household, it's been an up and down year. It really kind of ended more on a down note, but it's just trying to stay afloat and take care of your loved ones, and just those times, just watching TV, watching the movie, just sitting down and having a conversation about what's going on with anything, sports or things with them growing up, and just listening and just spending that time with them, while they're still here is you realize it gets more magnified when that you don't know how much time you have left with them. You soak in those moments. You really you don't take that stuff for granted. You really appreciate the little things even more and more. And you see, and you're watching your kids grow, and you want to pass that down to them too, and you want them to see the moments that you're enjoying with your friends and your families and your loved ones that aren't in good health. So it's it's very humbling, to say the least.
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely. Oh, well, Rich, take us home, because we got
Oh man. Well, you stuck around. Well, first of all, thanks for hanging out with us. And you stuck around, you fucked around, and you found out. So as always, fuck Deshaun Watson.
A lot of fuck yous today.
A lot of fuck yous. Fuck you to the Eagles coaching staff for making us upset. Fuck you, Davion Taylor, because you just entered back into my mind. Joe's here. Spike Eskin, Ben Simmons,
Jersey's on its way.
James Harden.
Jersey's on its way.
Jersey's on its way. I can't wait. I'm gonna rock it. That's my next jersey is Davion Taylor. And yeah, fuck them all. And most importantly, as always, fuck Dallas. I'm Rich. That's Don and Joe. We are drunk on broad. As always, go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
All
Go
right.
Birds.
We're
Peace.
out. Go Birds. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
This is the Broad Street Line, where Philly sports fans leave all of their sports hot takes. Call 267-405-3062 and show us your passion for Philly sports. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday at 8:30 when we listen to your live reactions to the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.